Bum, ba, 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 ba. I feel like I want to sing the national anthem to set the tone.
Dude, I don't know the British national anthem.
Oh my God.
How does it go?
No, I'm not embedded enough in the king yet, so I'll probably slip into the queen by mistake. That's a terrible way to put it. Okay, right, scrub that. Oh, if only we weren't live. Hello, Tone.
Hi, Jill. It's so great to see you and be with you today.
Royal wave for UK all day. Can I just say that I love the fact that Rebecca is powerless to control what's happening on this episode of her show. She's in our hands. Can you even believe that?
This is a cheeky takeover.
It's a cheeky takeover. I love a cheeky takeover. I was thinking, before we came live, like, how did UK All Day come about? And then I realised its little origin story, which was that Rebecca and I would be coaching together, and then suddenly she'd say, oh, hang on, Tony's got a quick question. And it would be something so random, like, what do people in the UK call the police? It's just something completely out of left field like that. And then, do you remember, we said, do you know what? That would make such a good show. The differences between the UK and the US. And here we are. We have now created this utterly inconsistent once in a while show.
And I think there's something to be said for a once in a while show. Like, when it arrives, it's a delightful surprise.
Right? I absolutely love that. I don't want people to know when the next episode's coming. No. I don't want them having the privilege of knowing
the power of inconsistency.
Thank you. We are leaning into the power of inconsistency. This is genius, Tone. I love it. So I want to know, we have got time today to relax, chat, have one of our most amazing conversations that just could go anywhere, because for those watching, you need to know that I have literally no idea what Tony's going to ask me. So here's the format for UK All Day. Basically, Tony has in his strange yet wonderful head an entire list of weird questions that he wants to know about us Brits. And I bet he's not the only one. I bet all my friends across the pond watching this are going to be like, oh, I've always wanted to know that. I mean, just on my mastermind call on Monday night, someone didn't know what fortnight meant. And at this point in the show, everyone in the UK is going, what? How do they not know what fortnight is? And everyone across the pond is saying, what? Fortnight? What's that? And that's the beauty of this show. There's something in it for everyone. Mostly us laughing at each other.
And before we get started, I guess, how about we just say a quick thank you to Rebecca for letting us take over the Stone Fruit time slot, the Stone Fruit Roll-Up time slot.
We so should thank her for that, shouldn't we? Yep. Thanks, Rebecca. You're going to regret it.
Also, I feel like it's a big nice thing to say something nice about her. And that something that she's always been wonderful, like how she's really great to me. Is it okay? She shows me how I am valuable to other people. She puts a spotlight on it.
Tony, like, you are just such a nicer person than me. I love that. And now I've got to think of something nice to say about her. I'm joking. It's not hard at all.
It's really not.
It's really not. She's amazing. And I do love that she's giving. I love that she trusts us to take over her show like this. Isn't that lovely? I remember her saying that to me once about the podcast. And I was thought, well, of course I do. But now that she's entrusted it to us, to her show, to us, I can see what she means. It feels like a real privilege to have for someone else to let you have free reign on their show. Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So with that, Jill, are you
She's
ready?
She's a good egg.
She is a good egg. She's a real good
egg.
So, Jill, are you ready for us to start moving toward the beginning of our of getting UK All Day underway today?
Karen, I was born ready for this.
Great.
Bring it.
All right, Bring it. Here we go. UK All Day, the show where a Yank asks a Brit everything about their funny little world across the pond. I'm Tony Porreco, a podcast producer based in the Washington, D.C. area. So last night when I was getting ready for today's show, a thought I had that I think kind of sums up a lot of what Jill and I are talking about with this show and its vibe is that, like, actually my knowledge of UK stuff is actually kind of hazy, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. So I thought it'd be fun to get brought up to speed by getting to chat with my absolute favorite Brit in the world, Gill Moakes.
Thanks, Tone.
You got it. So on our last episode, we talked about tea, and it was great.
We did talk about tea, and my horror at some of the ways you Yanks drink
just something
tea,
of intuitive, just intuitive methods of just kitchen, prepping a beverage, and you were like, no, that you can't. That's unheard of. Like, I just didn't know anyone could get so ruffled about herbs and water.
I don't think you really understood how seriously us Brits take our tea. I mean, it's like a religion to us.
Well, really. How do you take your tea?
We can't do that conversation
again. It's fine. I just wanted to play like the word take. That's it. It's cool. Let's get away. Let's get away from angry Jill. All right, Jill.
You know how heated that got me last time.
Yeah, I know. So, Jill, are you and everyone else at home ready to find out what we're talking about today?
I am so ready. This is my favorite bit.
Okay, here it goes. Today, we are talking about, and I want to learn from you all about knights and knightdom.
Oh, as in dark night at nighttime, or Knights of the Realm?
Not as in like what it means to be dubbed a knight historically and now, like.
Right.
The bigger question. So the bigger question is to learn more about titles. But the thing is we're going to start with knights and then move outward, because knights are the questions I have the most questions about.
Okay.
So yeah.
I hope I have the answers for you.
It's cool.
As always, if I haven't, I'll make up an answer. You won't know that I've just made the answer up, and you'll go away happy with some now utterly wrong information about British culture. But that's the way this show rolls.
Cool. It's going to be great. So first off, I want to give a shout out to my podcast idols, the McElroy brothers, who in one of their recent seasons of their tabletop role-playing podcast, The Adventure Zone, it's in a fantasy world, and there's an educational institution referred to as Clyde Knights Night School.
Clyde Knights Night School. I love that.
So I thought that was pretty good.
Yes,
okay.
I like it.
Okay, so and like my interest in knights was prompted by the recent, gross headlines about all this consort business and what people are referred to and stuff. And so what does it mean to be knighted, like in the present day, like Sir Paul McCartney, Sir Elton John? How does one end up a knight? What does it mean to be knighted, especially in the present day of 2023? And then we'll go back, and I will ask, Jill, what's your understanding of what it meant to be a knight 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago?
Right, yeah, because they're two really, really different things, aren't they? So becoming a knight now is, and this is where there will be, for those watching, there's going to be a tiny bit of truth. Some of it will be me making it up, but that's okay. Go with it. Right. So for me now, being a knight, it's decided by the king. So the king will, I think at the end of the year, consult with his advisors, and they will look at Britain as a whole in terms of who has made a fabulous contribution to British life. And they'll have lots of different categories. So they'll be like, okay, who's our favorite sports person?
So it's
our
sort of
like, just go with it. Skip over anything I don't sound like I'm sure about, because we can't edit this out, so we've just got to go with it and sound confident.
You're doing great, Jill. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, and then it will be like our favorite actor, and this is the king saying, okay, who's my favorite head of industry? Don't know. Branson's had it before. We're not having him again. Like the king.
Richard Branson? Wait,
is there another? Is there another Tone? Richard Branson's like our. All right, because you've got your Tony Robbins, you've got your Elon Musk. Give us Branson. Love of God.
Okay, so I only know of him as I have gone to a music festival he put on for free, the Virgin Free
Yes.
music festival. I went twice, actually.
Yes.
It was great. But like, so like, I've never stayed in a Virgin hotel. I've never flown a Virgin Airlines. I just don't have much immediate connection to Branson. But okay,
He's one of our heroes.
And okay, tell us about his herodom. Like, as in, like, what did he do? As in, why was he made a knight? Like, what would you sum him up? Tell us about your love, and like, as in, like,
is he a knight?
Is that what you said?
I don't know. I think he is. Can someone watching please put in the comments? Can you Google it and put in the comments whether Richard Branson is a knight? Otherwise,
that's
becomes
actually
very
a
moot
note
point.
about this show is that you can just Google this stuff, or you could
Right?
like talk to someone incredible.
You can exactly. You can Google it and get the true answer, or you can ask me and get my version of the answer, which involves the king sitting at his kitchen table thinking, "Oh, who shall I make a knight?" No, actually, he'll go, "Who shall I make a knight this year?" And like in my head, that's what happens. And then what happens next is they'll get a letter from Buckingham Palace say, "Hey, guess what? You're the lucky winner of a knighthood this year. Roll up to Buck Palace on date." Someone has said Richard Branson was knighted in 1999. Yes, he is Sir Richard Branson. Although, to be fair, I think Jimmy Savile was knighted as well, which kind of like, and he's now, I mean, he's dead now, but also he was a paedophile. So that's like brings the whole conversation down. We don't talk about him as knights. And this, of course, is the danger of the knighthood in Britain. It's like we make people knights.
And then they could get cancelled?
And then they do something really bad, and then we have to cancel them. Yeah. Which I guess is one of the differences between knighthood now and knighthood back in the Middle Ages when they didn't have social media in the way that we know it. It was more like a bird with a message.
So Jill, do you know how many knights are there right now today on this earth?
Today on this earth there are
I got two, like Paul and Elton.
710.
Okay. And how many get dubbed designated like each year?
42.
Are you making that up, Jill?
Yes, I'm making it up. Of
okay,
course
that's fine. It's totally fine.
God.
So okay, something, Jill, we're gonna get you out of this. You're doing great. Now something that okay, I see something that's particular to Brits is tabloids and news gossip. Is there ever much in the way of night rumors, night chatter, night gossip about who's expected to be knighted?
Yes. We always get. It's a little bit like it's very similar to who's going to get an Oscar. It's going to be like who's going to feature in the list. Like sometimes I think what happens maybe is that the king, when he's at his kitchen table writing his list of people who he's probably going to knight, I think probably what happens is like the butler comes in, takes a sneaky photo and leaks it to the Daily Mail. And they then publish it of like, who's probably going to be made a knight this year. I think that's what happens. I'm not 100% sure, but that would make sense.
And I was curious about this because you said that the to be knighted receives a correspondence in the mail. I was wondering about like the staggering of information being like, oh, do they find out in advance, or do they find out with all of us common folk as well? But they do get the note. They would find
they would find out in advance. They would get a beautiful, parchment letter from Buckingham Palace, bit like you get if you turn 100. Oh, I don't know if that's going to happen now. Basically, when we had the Queen, if any person in Britain turned 100, they would get a telegram from the Queen. And then obviously when telegrams became too old-fashioned,
send an old person using an old-timey medium.
Isn't that just so nice? Yeah. So that used to be a really common thing, would be like if people would say, oh, if someone was like 99, oh, they're holding on for their letter from the Queen. So I don't know if the King's still going to do that. Maybe. Yeah, I hope so. I'll probably write to him and suggest it.
So what's the chatter right now over there, Jill? Who does Britain want to be knighted? Is there a popular opinion consensus?
I mean, I'm checking my letterbox every day. Haven't seen anything yet, but apart from that, who is a good egg over here at the moment? Let me think. Who would we consider to be a good egg? Well, there's a footballer called something Rashford, who did loads of really good work for kids during COVID. So I think, someone like that is going to be high up. They're going to be like, he must be sitting at home checking his mailbox thinking, come on, I've got to be in with a chance.
Come on.
Otherwise, what did I do it for? But yeah, so, I mean, I can't name anyone specifically. Someone is just, so Corwin Wickersham. Is that a Brit name or a Yank name, do you think? Yank or Brit? Do you know?
I'm gonna guess a Brit. There's a Dr. Seuss property that involves characters known as the Wickersham brothers. But
maybe it's
yeah.
If Tony were looking to be knighted, what are a good few first steps he should take?
Can someone approaching UK citizenship, are they? If I wasn't born in the UK, do you have to be born in the UK to be knighted?
I bloody well hope so, Tone. Come on. This is our knightdom you're talking about.
I know, but it sounds like I may not be eligible. That's what I'm saying.
I would not allow you to be knighted.
Whoa.
No. Yeah, that would just be horrendous. We cannot have an American accent. Like, hi, what's your name? Oh, I'm Sir Tony Porreco.
And actually, like, Jill, and something a professor of mine in college said is that you never feel more American than the first moment you step off a plane in a new country. And that I always get that with you, Jill, because I never realize how American I sound until I talk to you.
And I do my impression of you.
You just do it.
And I can't help it. Oh my God. I can't help it though. I never sound more British than when Rebecca does her awful English impression of me. Also, someone has just posted in the comments that there are US citizens who receive honorary knighthoods, including former US presidents Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and former New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani.
It's Giuliani, Jill.
Giuliani. I knew that. So, okay, let's go back to Corin's question, which was...
I guess I could get an honorary knighthood.
You could get an honorary knighthood. So what we've got to come up with, because we need micro steps that you can take to line yourself up nicely for an honorary knighthood. I think you will probably need to become either mayor or president as the first micro step.
Yeah, based on that precedent of politicians. And
that seems like the precedent.
I mean, just gotta. So the next question, I guess, would be: have there been any American entertainers anywhere in the pop culture, whatever, that who would have had honorary knighthoods? Someone tell us in the chat. Look that up. Any honorary Americans?
It's we've got Sir Elton John. He's a Brit.
Right.
Sir Rod Stewart, Brit. Sir Paul McCartney, Brit.
And are folks spicy about folks who were not knighted in their lifetime? They're David Bowies, they're Freddie Mercury's, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. There's for a long time, you get lots of people saying how has he not been knighted? This is an injustice to humanity. David Bowie, point in case. Why was he not Sir David Bowie? He is in my heart.
I know, right there with you. Now, do you think Mick Jagger will be knighted?
Is he not already?
I don't know.
No, surely not. Can someone Google that, please? Pop it in the old comments. Someone just put Tony is the mayor of our hearts. Oh, love that, Tony. You're the mayor of my heart.
Oh, sweetie.
I don't know, Mick Jagger, would he be a good knighted? But see, here's the thing. Yeah, I think he should be knighted because, like, my God, the man's still going.
Yeah.
Some might say.
I mean, I would say him and Keith, right?
Corwin's back. George H.W. Bush. Oh, he's just given us so many Yehudi menuing. What? Andre, this is amazing. Steven Spielberg. Wow, that's a good list. So
cool.
those, but I'm guessing those are all honorary knighthoods.
I mean, sure. As in, like, it sounds like that's what would be available to me. The Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger was knighted by Queen Elizabeth on December 12th, 2003. Great.
Sir Mick.
Great.
Yet still not David Bowie.
It's not. Okay. So next question, Jill. Is there a female equivalent to the title?
I think it's like lady, or is that Lord and Lady? I think it's lady. So if I were not, I don't know. I'm going to make up an answer. Yes, it's lady. So if I were knighted, I would be Lady Gillian Moakes.
Okay. All right. So next question is, what is a dame? What and explain Dame Judi Dench to me. I don't know everyone.
I'm starting to sweat, Tone. This is like the worst topic ever. I don't know any of these answers. A failure as a Brit. Right, Dame Judi Dench. So dame is a dame.
David Bowie declined knighthood in 2003.
Declined a knighthood. I love him even more now. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever heard, is that he declined a knighthood.
Also, I no longer have
that's
a chip on my shoulder against the monarchy. That was like, isn't like, no, they're off the hook now. Great. All right, so do you know anything about the title of Dame and Dame Judi Dench?
I love Dame Judi Dench. Like, why is she a dame? Like a dame. Right, these are all just like, if you imagine the comparison with a company, you start off with like being an employee, then you might be a team leader, then you might be a department manager, then you might be a section head, then you might be like, this is what all these different things are, like squires and knights and dames and lords and ladies and garter of the realm, and all these different kind of pageantry names are basically like different roles in a warehouse. That's how I can best describe it. Don't think that's true in any way, shape, or form, but for the purposes of this conversation, I feel like it's a good enough answer.
Sure. And so do we know where dame is in hierarchy? And actually, we when we get to, I think we're going to get to titles and nobility a little more. It's okay. I get it. But don't worry about it. Okay. So, what, and is it that there's like a handful of new folks designated to be nominated as knights each year? Is that how it is?
Yeah. So I think, I don't know if they have like a limited number they can hand out.
I've been wondering about like the supply of knights, like if there's a Federal Reserve thing, like we need to keep a cap on the quantity of knights, knight inflation.
Right. I reckon there is. I reckon it's like, how many can we cater for this year? Like, what's the budget for catering? And then I think they work backwards from that. Sure. So it's like they look at the the catering budget for the event at Buck Palace. Then that dictates how many people can become knighted that year. I think that's
damehood is the female version of knighted. Thank you, Corwin. So Dame Judi Dench, she's a knight.
Corwin's like an expert on British
Corwin GPT stuff over here.
I don't know why Corbyn's not on here. He should be on here instead of me. He knows more. Won't it be embarrassing if it turns out that he's American and knows all this information? Corbyn is the deputy mayor of our hearts. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. 100%.
Okay. Do you? What are the perks of knightdom? Do you get money? Do you get I'm guessing there's an event every now and again. Like what?
So it's like VIP tickets to Buck Palace events, I think you get like a book of vouchers that you can use in various different outlets, like Sports Direct.
A coupon book. Do you think is that really the case?
I think there's a coupon book, and like if you're a knight, you get this certain set of coupons, things like Pizza Hut, Sports Direct.
It's so funny to think about these famous people slumming it with coupons.
Right, it is true. What Buck Palace versus Buc-ee's? Discuss.
Jill, if you're not familiar, Buc-ee's is a combination of fueling station and grocery store and sandwich shop. So
okay. So practically identical, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the king making me a cold cut sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Okay, so Jill, what?
Yeah.
Is there anyone in your life? Do you know anyone in your life who has a title, is nobility? Like anyone you have a personal relationship with? And then if not, just have you met anyone, like as in, and then what, like, you ever gotten to, that's it. Just what's your personal experience with anyone with a title?
Oh, yes. One time I went to an after dinner speech given by Bear Grylls, who I think is an OBE. I think he's had some sort of award.
Who is Bear Grylls and what is an OBE?
Whoa, you don't know who Bear Grylls is?
No idea.
One of the youngest people to ever climb Everest. He climbed Everest having been he was a member of the SAS. He then broke his back in a skiing accident and then went on to become the youngest person at the time. Younger people have climbed it since, but at the time he was the youngest person to summit Everest. And he got some award, like OBE maybe. He now makes a lot of TV survival type programs about where they drop him off into the middle of nowhere. Clearly he's not. Clearly he like stays in his hotel probably, but who knows. But they drop him off in the middle of nowhere and he's got to get his way back to civilization. It's like they drop him off and 10 minutes later he's having to drink his own urine. Like literally that is the format of the show.
Some of those shows are getting wilder and wilder. Like I think, like as in you are dropped off naked in one of them.
Oh yeah, Naked and Afraid.
That's the one.
Yeah, we have that one over here too.
Is that your go-to when you're not watching Love Island, Jill?
I've never. This is my claim to fame. Practically, I've never watched an episode of Love Island. Not one. I feel like I've let you down, Tone.
No, don't split.
In your head, that's all we do over here.
All I hear about is Brits loving their trashy, their trashy reality.
Oh, now if you talk to me about Real Housewives of anywhere, I'm all over that. Like literally all over it. I feel like I know them all. Yeah, but Love Island, no.
So Jill, we're gonna pivot now, I think, to actually some discussion about broader nobility and monarchy stuff.
Oh no!
And no, it's okay. See, I have thought about this, about how to keep things on the up and up, punching up. Keep calm. We're gonna keep calm and carry on. Like, don't worry about it.
Keep calm and carry on. You know that's our motto. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So, what I want to ask is, what glimmers of like hope, acceptance, like what are y'all okay about or looking forward to about the future of the British monarchy? Because like it's set, like what, like how is this going to reveal itself of something new and sufficiently functional, being like that these aren't, like you've got to land somewhere to keep this tradition that has meant so much to you all for so long.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think what's going to happen is that I think the king probably will change a lot of things. I think the first thing is that I think he's probably going to do a deal with Travel Inn or Premier Inn or Travel Lodge. because there's a lot of rooms at Buckingham Palace that aren't used. I mean, those rooms could be used for much better purpose. So that's one thing I think will happen.
So you mean you could book a hotel stay at Buckingham Palace? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Budget, like, like, I don't think he's a very, very charitable person. I don't think he's going to put a high price tag on this. So I feel like you could do a stopover and just get the bus there from the station. They'll open up the gates for the bus to go right up to the door so that people can just stay there. That's one of the main changes I see the king bringing in, to be honest. I think, what other changes do I think will happen? Do you know who I think we're going to see more of this year and in the years to come? Edward and Sophie. I mean, literally, we just don't ever see or hear anything about them. And then when the Queen was like in her last days, suddenly it came to light that she and Sophie had been besties. And like, we did not even know this. So I think they might, that's my prediction. They are going to rise from the ashes of invisibility. Who are Edward and Sophie? Edward is the Queen and Prince Philip's youngest child. So Charles is the eldest, then Anne, then Andrew, then Edward. When I was young, my mum used to tell me that I was going to marry Prince Andrew. I mean, like, not so funny now, but at the time, I was like really excited about that because I thought she was actually serious. I thought I was somehow lined up to marry him and become a princess. Turned out not.
Gill, what are y'all Brits excited for right now? Just in general, like what's in the zeitgeist? What's on your mind? And also,
I love that I'm answering on behalf of all Brits. That's my favorite thing.
That's part of the point here.
This is the point.
Take lady off the street. Like, speak for all of us.
Right. So I just want everyone watching to understand that when I answer this question, I genuinely am giving your opinion. Don't try and pretend you don't agree with me, because I know this is what everyone is thinking. So, sorry, what was the question, Tone?
What are y'all excited about right now? And like, let's go, like, trends.
I'll tell you, I can answer this.
Anything.
I can answer this so easily. We are on day 2 of sunshine in the UK.
Do you mean for the season?
Sunshine. For the year.
Got it.
Now, something very special happens in the UK when the sun first comes out. In fact, Lauren and I, Lauren of Box Creative and I, were talking about this very morning. And something very strange happens. And she was telling me that she did see a phenomenon yesterday. And this is very common at the beginning of the sunny season in the UK. And that is that we get overexcited. We get really overexcited about sunshine. So she actually witnessed a woman walking with woolly hat, padded coat, because it's still quite cold, and the man behind her was wearing a singlet vest, shorts and flip-flops. And that is how overexcited us Brits get about the weather. Now in London at this minute, I can tell you the temperature. Let me see. 12 degrees. It's 12 degrees right now. But in London right now in Hyde Park, people will be sunbathing. I will guarantee that. They will be lying on blankets sunbathing, because that's what we get the most excited about, is weather. So just like a tiny chink in the clouds where a few rays of sun come through, and we literally cannot get sun cream off the shelves. It will sell out in minutes. It's like the loo roll during COVID.
Are y'all
so that's
ever
what we're
going
most excited about.
Got it. Are y'all ever going to get air conditioning? What's the story there?
I'm sorry, what?
Are y'all ever going to get air conditioning? Isn't it the case that there's just there's never like air conditioning is everywhere here, and that is not
I know
the case
one person in the UK with air conditioning, and that is my sister, because she's very precious and has to sleep in an optimally temperatured room. But no one else I know in the UK has air conditioning other than offices. No one. There would be literally no point, because it never gets hot enough. Well, it does. Like, it gets freakishly hot some summers, but we just put up with it. And then it gets freakishly cold too. And then we just put up with that as well, because obviously we can't afford to heat our houses anymore. So yeah, no, we will never get air conditioning over here ever.
Now, does that create more interest or discussion in like your fan setup? Are y'all always on the lookout for new fan gadgets?
Yeah. Like I think we're now like a 5-fan household. So, you know, where we used to be like a 1-fan household, and then it was like arguments and moving the fan around the house. And then we had like a really hot summer 2 years in a row. So we had to invest in more fans. So like, let's give you a little demo. This is my anti-menopause fan that sits on my desk, plugs into my computer. Nifty. But then we have, for the summer, we have big fans. Some people live in the dream, have ceiling fans, but I don't think I actually know any one of those.
Gill, I've gotten very into fans myself.
Tone's gone. Come back, Tone.
Yeah,
Can't do this on my own.
I was coming back to show you all of my
What
fans.
are those?
These are
maracas.
These are USB
fans.
fans. So like
why have you got so many fans?
Okay, here's the story. I some stuff you don't put in the dishwasher. So what I do is then I will take a fan, wrap it around my sink faucet, and then blast it at the stuff that I want to dry, so that it doesn't take like all night.
So genius.
Yeah.
Utterly genius.
Also, so Jill, my refrigerator my freezer doesn't have an ice maker. So I bought a portable ice maker. And so, when you're done, you need to dry it out. So what I do is I clamp this guy onto it to just blow it out, because, then it gets nasty less fast.
I just didn't think I could love you any more than I already do. Who knew? Now that I know you're the owner of like 6 fans and have multiple uses for them, all identical.
Oh, yeah. There's 2 floor, and there's 2 floor to ceiling fan. But yeah, so I am always on the lookout. Oh, I have a wear it around your neck fans, like it's a USB. It's lots of fun. Oh yeah.
Hold on. Wear it around your neck, but it's a USB fan. So you have to put it around your neck and then sit really close to the plug.
Well, no, just for charging it. Standby.
Oh, thank God. Oh, this is a revelation. People, hey, Tone, I'm thinking we need to get sponsored by some kind of fan manufacturer for this. That is a fan. That's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's a fan.
You need to send me the Amazon link for that.
I will send you the Amazon link. But
Please.
Also, these light up as well, but the battery's dead. And you can set the lights to party mode.
What? Why do Americans have so much better stuff than us? You have so much better stuff.
See, I don't know if, I will say that I run into the occasional thing, Amazon, there'll be a list and there'll be a thing only on UK Amazon. I'm like, why do you all have the best stuff?
I don't even believe that. There is nothing on UK Amazon that you cover. You're just saying that to make me feel better.
I'm just telling you about my small sample size. Yep. So Jill, more stuff. Y'all Brits are excited about, like
more stuff we're excited about. So weather is a given. Weather is a given every single year at this time of year. The most exciting thing, the thing on all of our minds, the thing we talk about the most is the weather. We love talking about the weather. Obviously, everyone knows that about us. The other things that are on our minds are holidays. So we get very excited about holidays over here. And we often get too excited about holidays, and then we go a little bit mad when we go on holiday. Brits don't have a very good reputation as holiday makers, because it's like we don't get very consistent sun over here. So when we do go somewhere where there's a lot of sun, we tend to kind of just lie like a salamander for a week until we have 2nd-degree burns all over our body, can't actually function as a human anymore, and then have to drink an awful lot of alcohol to numb the pain. And that's kind of why Brits abroad are so badly behaved. But are y'all folks who still have bank holidays? And what is a bank holiday? What does it mean for what? Yes.
Why why does everyone pretty much get a day off? For whatever
Right,
bank holiday is?
that's a funny thing, because until I started working, like all my clients bar one are American, and until I started working with my across the pond friends, I did not know that you guys didn't get bank holidays. I thought, in fact, I thought that bank holidays were like a global phenomenon. They're not. So a bank holiday, they happen like, say, at Christmas Day and Boxing Day are bank holidays. And they're called bank holidays because back in the old days, they would be the only days that the banks closed apart from Sundays. So I can't really remember what the origin story. I bet Corbin probably knows. He's going to pop back in a minute with like, interesting little anecdote here about bank holidays. I do want you to do that, Corbin, please, if you're still watching. Unless you've got off.
Corwin is the third member of UK All Day.
Corbin is like resident expert. He's like, he has to come back. We're gonna have to track him down. He's got to come and be our resident expert for bringing a little bit of sanity to the answers. But bank holidays, I think it was like originally just because it would be the only days that the banks wouldn't open, and they happen two at Christmas. Then the next bank holiday happens like Easter time. We have like Good Friday and Easter Monday are bank holidays. Then we have a bank holiday like randomly at the end of May, just for no apparent reason. Then we have a bank holiday at the end of August for no apparent reason.
Do they occur on Mondays or Fridays typically, or is there ever
Mondays.
One on like a Wednesday?
They're always they're apart from Christmas, it's whenever Christmas Day and Boxing Day fall. Easter, it's Good Friday and Easter Monday, and then all of the rest of the bank holidays are always on a Monday. And when something really special happens over here, we get an extra bank holiday.
What is that special something that needs to happen?
The Queen died. We got an extra bank holiday. We've got an extra bank holiday coming up next month for the King's coronation. Extra bank holiday. And I remember, like, before I had my own business, I remember, like, when I had a job, it was just the best thing ever when you got an unexpected extra bank holiday. Obviously now, because you selfish Americans don't have bank holidays, now I end up working on bank holidays, so they mean nothing to me. But yeah, back in the day.
Jill, I just realized now that at the moment, this is actually a UK All Day question that's been in my mind for a long time now. That it is just. I'm glad I'm getting to it now. I think you'll get this one. What is Boxing Day? I don't know what it is. I don't know what the story is. Why is it called Boxing Day? What's the history? What is it celebrating? What is it observing?
Hang on. Do you not have Boxing Day?
Not only on like my Google Calendar, like auto filled in.
What? You don't have Boxing Day. 26th of December is not Boxing Day in America.
We call it the day after Christmas.
What? I didn't even know that until this. I was this minute old when I found that out. So what is Boxing Day? Basically, in the olden days, the day after Christmas would be a day where in every village, far and wide, people would come together into the village square and there would be a boxing match. And it would be a traditional day after Boxing Day kind of celebration thing that the village would come together for. And so it became known as Boxing Day, and it therefore became a bank holiday because obviously no one wanted to work the day after Christmas. They all wanted to go to the boxing matches.
So there would be boxing matches, like fights.
Yeah.
To what is boxing is that still a big sport in UK, or is it? And is it, to what extent is it just pageantry now? Like, is there boxing?
Oh, we don't do. No, there's no boxing matches on Boxing Day anymore.
I like that because I think it's a terrible sport.
Because we go to Vegas to box now.
You go to Vegas to box. Do you mean to watch the fights? Do you mean to watch the fights or to go fight?
I think boxers now mostly box in Vegas. I'm just basing that on the last.
When you say we go to, you mean Brits who box?
Yes. Okay. Not me personally. I've given it up. But yeah, I think people who box go to Vegas.
Got it.
I think.
Okay. Got it. So
Good
it
question,
was
though. Like
so
that one.
Boxing Day, to sum it up, was a day. It's the day after Christmas, and it's sort of another day off where there would be boxing matches, and that's what everyone would go do on that day. And so that's why it's called Boxing Day.
Right. So basically, in the old days, you used to either go and watch boxing matches in the village square or hangings, both equally as popular with the crowd. But I suppose maybe they thought, oh, hanging, not really appropriate, day after Jesus's birthday. Let's do a boxing match instead.
Cool. So wait, what are the other big UK holidays? Like, as in, gosh.
Well, Easter. Like Easter's quite big over here. We've just had Easter. And like
what did y'all do for Easter? What was your Easter about, Jill?
Ate chocolate. That's all we do over here.
That's all you did? Is that what you did too?
We're not a very religious country. Like, some people will go to church, obviously, but I'm not religious, so I don't go to church. But I do take part in the celebration so that I can have the chocolate. And we just do good things like enjoy the bank holidays. So Easter's a good one. I quite like. Yeah, Easter in England is a non-stop chocolate fest. Like, kids get like 10, 12 Easter eggs and then have to plow through them. Like as you know, my son James is autistic, so literally it's a minefield, because if he sees all the eggs he's getting on one day, that's it. You know, he's not moving from the dining table for 3 days while he plows through them. So we have to ration them out.
Tell us about the UK's taste in chocolate. Like, as in, are y'all mostly
this is a really good question.
What do you and you personal, as in, speak for both everyone and then yourself.
Well, I feel like those are the same thing, because, you know, there is one truth, mine. So the best chocolate is the really, really overly processed Cadbury's.
Yep.
Cadbury's Dairy Milk is your gold standard overly processed chocolate. Sure. None of this like 90% cocoa solids rubbish, because everyone knows that tastes horrible. Like, no, don't give me that and pretend that is a nice bar of chocolate. It isn't. It's terrible.
I mean, so Jill, I'm a dark chocolate guy. My only gripe with the like dark cocoa stuff is that the bars are so like tough. They do not break and they do not melt at all. Like, so that's why I feel like you need to change the way the medium.
See, that's the difference. Cadbury's Dairy Milk, you get that bad boy out of the fridge, you can drink it in 10 minutes. Like, it's just so overly processed. It basically breaks down when it comes into contact with the air. But it's so good. So, okay. And then is it that when you say the chocolate for you in the UK, a Cadbury egg, is that like the answer? Cadbury egg. Or do you mean Cadbury chocolate? I completely forgot about Cadbury chocolate bars. Now I remember. Cool. I do. Now you remember. You have to go get those. But Easter eggs are a different thing. So Easter eggs, now you either go for quantity, so you get your cheap eggs, which might be like your Kit Kat egg, your Snickers bar egg, your Cadbury's cream egg. The real tiny, like oh no, they're still like in a box. Okay. But you get like an egg with one chocolate bar with it. Or you go for quality. So one of our favorites over here, I don't know if you guys have this over there, but one of our favorites over here, speaking for the whole of the UK, is Lindor eggs. Do you have the red Lindor with the like round baubles of chocolate and they melt in the middle? We have Lindor truffles, I believe. Yes. I first got to know about was they would be for sale, that you could buy them as individual truffles at Borders Books. And with all the different flavors of them. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, we have that over here too. We have something in common. We got there. Cool. I can't do that. How'd you do it? Like that? Like that. My hands don't do that. What the hell am I doing wrong? Oh, like that. Okay. Oh, okay. Jill, can you do a tongue trill? What's that? Like the with your tongue. Oh, like oh, I really wish I hadn't done that now. I wish you told me what it was before I did that. With the like that. Yes. I have no idea how to do that.
I have no idea. That was excellent. Oh, that's a. And I think
how I'm doing it.
that's a, Jill. Why don't we start wrapping up on that sexy note?
What? We're wrapping up. I was ready to go all day. I was like, I thought UK all day was we were going to stand here talking all day.
I don't know. It's more like, oh, we're beginning to approach the runway from 50 miles away. Like that's all. Like that's it. Also,
I hear what you're saying. Oh, I just can't bear it because I just love these conversations so much. And
You're a blast.
so going back to what we said earlier, well, actually, first of all, Tone, thank you, because you come up with the best questions. And I love the fact that you ask me the questions that I never really know the answer to. It's like you always ask me things that I know a little bit about, enough to be dangerous. And then I always have to just make up the rest and try and do it with a straight face so that no one really knows whether that's what I actually think is true. Obviously, I didn't do that today. Everything I said was completely 100% true. So I just want to thank you for asking the best questions ever.
I really appreciate you being the best all the time.
Now I've learned it. Also, can I just say that in the spirit of leaning into our inconsistency, who knows when we're going to do this again?
Keep your eye out. Coming at you.
I don't know.
Weird.
You don't know.
I don't know either. Nobody knows.
Me neither. That's the best thing.
For real.
But it will happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We are consistently inconsistent, and
yes,
that's what's consistent about us.
Yes,
proud to be. Cool.
Proud to be it. Thank you. Love you so much.
Jill, love you. Thanks for viewing this episode of UK All Day.
Bye.
Bye.